So today's topic, I built it up off of this, and I'm gonna back up a little bit here. Torsia will eventually come in at some point today, but I told her like to sort of hang back for at least an hour or so.
Wanting a guy to pay all your bills, what do you feel like you are bringing into the relationship if he's doing all of that? Because that's a lot of bills.
My pretty self. That's what I bring. I know.
Okay, she's not lying here. That's what she brings. That's what all of them bring.
And I'm pretty smart, you know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler, so I get money. I feel like most men.
A little bit of backstory on this girl here. She's a single mother, and she's a hustler.
And that I've dealt with, I brought a lot of value into the life.
Okay, so she doesn't know what she's saying. It's kind of like the wisdom of fools here. She doesn't know what she's saying, but like I saw this, and then pay attention.
Wanting a guy to pay all your bills.
Okay, so we got this one. Usually this is how Brian sets things up, right? He puts the hose on the right side of the screen, and all of the good girls who just got out of Bible study that night on the left-hand side of the screen. All right, they usually sit by him because I guess that's the safe side of the table. I don't know. But when I looked at this, I'm like, and I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, so you've got this sort of mousy brown haired girl who looks like she didn't even bother to like, do anything about her appearance before she goes on this show. But maybe that's because she's trying to sort of like project this modest girl, wallflower, plain Jane image, right? Which she kind of is. And then it's always you're setting up the good girls versus the 304s. the HO3s or the HO. Sorry. But yeah, so I was looking at this, and then I realized something here is there was a hypothetical that was set up, and I'm going to read. I've got a good today's show was actually inspired by a tweet that's really taking off right now, which I'll show you. But so I was watching this, and I was like, if you had a guy, the hypothetical situation was if you had a guy who took care of all your bills. Very similar to the guy, the black guy that was, making the pizza and everything. That's why I threw that one in there, that clip in there. You have a guy that's taking care. He's working 3 jobs, whatever. He's taking care of all the bills. You don't need, and you want for nothing. Basically, you're a woman of leisure. And I think it's kind of the height of irony, like people on shows like whatever podcast has become. Is now sort of pontificating in this puritanical, just I don't know, self-righteous bullshit is basically what it is. And when I see one side go after the other side, I mean, I understand that's Brian's grift. Set up the good Christians versus it's Christians versus hoes, basically, is what it's come down to. And I haven't asked, but I'm wondering, like, is like Andrew Wilson now like a full-time member of? Is he on staff at whatever? Because like he runs the show more than Brian does these days. It's like he's the host now, or Rachel, his wife, they're the hosts of whatever. It's like I have not seen a show that didn't have Andrew on more recently than not, and. When Andrew's on, I noticed that Brian has a tendency of running like 8 and 9 hour podcasts. So I don't want to hear jack shit about me doing a 3-hour podcast. 4 hours. This guy must really like to hear his own voice. Dude, go look at fucking like at whatever, man. He's starting to average between like 7.5, 8.5 hours now, if not 9. Because I know the profit model is essentially farm super chats. I get it. That's the hustle. But I mean, if I was one of those chicks on there and I got to sit there for like 8 hours, that's a full-time fucking job, man. So is it? Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I was going to say, and you know what? I mean, more power to him. Andrew's sort of like in his line. He's in his prime right now. He's hitting his stride. I think we probably should talk about Fresh and Fit a little bit later. But before I get to that, I wanted to just bring out the model of like how shows like this are sort of like playing out. But the problem is like, I don't think that they see their own irony. I don't think that they understand that the fact is like, if you, in that hypothetical anyways, I know this is really cerebral, but in that hypothetical, where you have a guy who essentially will be the guy that women like, as Sadia Khan was saying, if he's a good guy and he really loves you and he's really into you and he has this thing, why wouldn't you submit to him? Yada, yada, yada. Okay. But that's exactly the scenario that was set up on that one clip for whatever podcast. Okay. Well, why wouldn't you want to submit? Well, I want to make my own damn money. It's very, it's very like, selfish. It's very like selfish. It's very self-important. And I thought about this and I go, if women's needs, their long-term security needs are met, they're already taken care of. What possible value could either one of those girls bring to the table? The Mousy Brown, Wallflower, Plain Jane, she can't bring anything more to the table than the 304, single mom chick, the blonde, because really at that point, they're only bringing sex to the table. And it's sort of a reversal, or sort of like an analogy, a parallel to when we say, women, when it comes down to alpha fucks and beta bucks, right? When it comes to the long-term security needs, long-term emotional needs, parental investment, protection, and provisioning, versus I want to fuck Jason Momoa. The short-term sexual side of things. And we always say, why are we shocked when women say that they don't need men? Again, one more time, everybody drink. When I was making my case for how men were superfluous to Dr. Phil, this was exactly my line of reasoning, right? Because women literally don't need men anymore. They want men, but they don't need men, or at least that's the common, like, popularized perception, right? Yes, do they actually need men? Yes, they actually do. And as many podcasts will illustrate and go into great detail about, we understand that. But the perception is that women don't need men. So now we have the reversal, the gender reversal of that hypothetical, right? If you have a guy who can meet all of your long-term security needs, your provisioning, your protection, your parental investment, everything that you possibly need. He might even be into fucking you, right? The alpha fuck side might even be there too, right? What possible thing can you bring to the table? Even Mousy Brown girl, even blonde 304 girl, the only thing you bring to the table is sex. Seriously. That's all there is. Your only real agency is sex. The only thing he can't get outside of, being able to, if money's no object, right? The only thing he can't get, besides paying for sex, let's just say, but let's say he doesn't want to pay for sex. The only thing he can't get is your. And I know I'm going like Patrice O'Neal on you. Okay, got it. But the thing is what is either one of them going to be? And I think this sort of reflects not so much on the blonde 304 as it does on the Mousy Brown girl, that everybody thinks that she's the one we should all get behind because she's got the piety behind her, and she's on the army of the Lord, and she's speaking truth, facts. Well, the facts are, even Mousy Brown girl can't bring jack shit to the table. Oh, she can bring loyalty. She can bring this. Okay, fine. Does that mean that the other girl couldn't bring loyalty too? Then what? See, the thing is like, you've got this girl right here. Let me bring her back in again.
What do you feel like you are bringing into the relationship?
Okay. What you're looking at here is intrasexual combat. This is an intrasexual contest right here. I'm better than you. Look at me. I'm dressed more modestly. My hair is kind of like stringy around my face, and I didn't do anything. I barely did my makeup, but it doesn't matter because I bring more to the table than you do. No, you don't. Not in that hypothetical. You don't. There it is.
So if he's doing all of that, because that's a lot of
my
bills.
pretty self.
Mm-hmm. That's what
At least she's on my pretty self. Yeah. My tits and my ass and that's what I bring to the table. And if you don't understand that, I would honestly say that the Plain Jane girl there at the top is in a worse position than the blonde.
Right. I know that's. And right. I'm pretty smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hustler, so. All
right, give up on the accent, but you know what I mean.
I get money. I feel like most men that I've dealt with, I brought a lot of value into their life.
Okay, that's another thing. I want to also bring into this picture here is value. I'm gonna go full Ryan Stone on you here. Value is a container word. Period. You can fill that word with anything the fuck you want. Value. I would love to say, okay, what do you think is value? And maybe Andrew's probably like nailed these chicks on this before. I don't know. I don't watch 9 hour. I watch 4 hour podcasts. Clearly, I produce them, but I don't wait for 8 hour podcasts. I'll catch the highlights. But what do you bring to the table? What I am the table. Shut up. Right. Well, what's value? What's the value bring? Oh, I bring money. I love how like automatically we think it's like money is equals value, right? But that's not the case, because in that hypothetical, the guy already makes all the money. He's already paying for everything. So your money is valueless to this guy. Any money you could bring. So let's deal. What else do you got? What else do you have in a bag of tricks there, in your bag of holding? What else do you have in there? Nothing. There's only one. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's one thing. There's tits and there's ass. That's basically what it is. And you better be enthusiastic about it, because that's what you're boiling it down to. And yes, I understand. Like, yeah, all hail Patrice O'Neal. Gotcha. But he wasn't wrong when he was saying, like, if you didn't have a, what would you do? Oh, I give him an ass. I give him a blowjob. Oh, okay. So you're basically a set of holes. Yeah. I have seen the stand-up comedy routine. Thank you. But there's more to it than just once the laughs die down, there's more to that message than just the I'd give up my ass. I'd let him fuck somebody else. Right?